Hey everyone, this is Louis7 and I'm streaming more Lord of the Rings Online, preparing for Mordor some. Okay, so just making sure the live stream's working. It looks like it is, and I am on my lore master right now. I have my legendary items to imbue. I got them specifically ready because I want to stream imbuing them, just because that's a big part of it. I forgot I need to apply all these scroll of empowerments. Actually, I just saw those. So I will do that real quick and probably find a daily group as well to go ahead and do on my lore master. I think the dailies, yeah, Wrath of Earth, that one's not too bad. I don't think I particularly care if there's a specific one of these I want. Sticky Gourd base damage can be good. Let me check my book. Fire damage over time is definitely good. I think Bane Flare targets it turns into something that's good, so that might be worth upgrading. But I'll just go ahead and use these on ones I know are more useful. So other than this, I do plan on doing some dailies and just getting more ready for Mordor since it's 2 days away. And with Mordor, I do plan to stream Monday evening, probably a little bit earlier than this. Don't see any daily groups. Oh, there is one. Maybe I can get in this still. Just keep on applying these scroll of empowerments. I might go ahead and search for a group of my own because I do not want to spend a long time waiting, but I still do have these scrolls to apply. It's a little bit time consuming. I wish you could just apply all at once, but that would mainly be for after imbuing, because for this it kind of is upgrading specific ones you want. Actually, I will join this group. That works out. I hope I enjoy the questing in Mordor, because that could be a big turnoff to me if I don't enjoy it like right away. Alright, I think, do I need a... Maybe I'll imbue my staff before, and then my book after. Because I think the book still needs to level up just a little bit. It's level 62 out of 70, and this is already 70. Right, so let's imbue. No. There it is. Imbue. I got all my Starlit Crystals and Crystal of Remembrance. All that was already done, so it has 7 legacy slots. The relics aren't that good. That's another thing for my lore master specifically I need to work on. And of course its passive stats, having the in-combat power regen, is pretty useless. But otherwise it's got crit rating and morale. I'm fine with that for an alt like this. So for this place, I want probably my Bog Guardian for the first boss. And he usually works just throughout. But otherwise it's got crit rating. Okay, I was just checking to make sure my mic was working there. I'm using a new headset now, and I think the mic works a lot better. I have noticed it does pick up some more stuff, but usually it's just more clear, and my computer fan's also not as loud anymore since I upgraded my CPU, which really helps with the noise because that was really loud when I used to record. I'm not used to playing my lore master. I haven't actually played him in a while. his damage is a bit low compared to... I've been playing my Runekeeper a lot lately actually, so I'm used to that damage. I've also been playing a lot of Overwatch, which is a really different game type than this, so it just takes a little bit getting used to. That guy usually pulls, I think. So other stuff to prepare for Mordor other than featured instances would be taking my ults through the waste into... Oh, this is where we all are. And to, like, I guess the Black Gate is where that is. So I can get them ready to just walk in. I haven't actually played the beta too recently. I thought about doing this stream the beta, but I don't really like playing betas too much, and there wasn't much else for me to do that I didn't do the first round besides just see the new stuff and if it's still as buggy or not. But most of the stuff I would have wanted to see I was able to get done that first day. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit distracted by some of my stream stuff. It's... Okay. Sorry, I just thought, I can't really see the preview too well. I was just making sure it was all working. And it looks like it is. I think I also pulled a bunch of stuff that I shouldn't have. While this featured instance is a little bit long, I actually like it. I mean, it's not really boring or not really long, especially some of the other ones get really long at some points. Like the Numenos one's pretty long with that second boss fight. Or that might be the first boss fight I'm thinking of. I think my pet caused some problems. I'm still in combat. Now we can go in. Maybe. Well, I thought. I think there might be a mob stuck. This is another frustrating thing about this instance in particular, is the goblins can get stuck. Don't have my pet out anymore. This guy's targeting me. Am I losing frames here? Might be dropping frames, or I'm just lagging maybe. Don't think I have any run speed boost on this character. Did I already kill the boss? Well, leave the instance. I felt like I did nothing for that second half. I do want to track my book. There we go, that's better. 100? This is actually good for the book. I will try to remember to dismiss my pet after that second mini-boss guy. I'm kind of curious what the featured instance gear will be like at 115, if it'll be the same as 105, like relative power. Because to start, it could be a lot stronger just because there's not much better, but I'm not sure what the Allegiance gear looks like or anything to do with that, or even questing gear, so like some of that end gear could even be good. Besides legendary item stuff, I'm actually not too sure what featured instances would really give me at this point, because the gear, I mean with Mordor coming out, it's definitely not useful. The long lost coins, if they keep those currency in Mordor for whatever barter, if there's any level 115 stuff with that, could be useful. And then again, the legendary item stuff. One thing about the Lore Master is just how long the skill cooldowns are. And I know the skills are strong and it's balanced. Well, kind of balanced. They aren't too strong with that even, but I think they can make them slightly weaker. I need to dismiss this guy, or I will pull all those again. But they could make them a little bit weaker and shorter cooldowns just to make the pace of Lore Master go up a little bit. And something like even Blue Line, if they have it more pet focused, wouldn't really have to do that with all the stronger skills like Sticky Gourd. They don't even have Ring of Fire or Lightning Storm unless they have enough traits and go into the red line. Seems like my stream FPS keeps dropping, but I'm not dropping frames. It might be a little bit weird. It should be at 60 FPS. I think I'm playing, yeah, I'm playing over 60 FPS now. Try to use Lightning Storm while I can. I think they were dead by the time it went off. So this character, besides trait points, is pretty much set for Mordor. Because I have them build allies, that's, well, besides the trait points, again, the most important part, I think. Like, some of my other characters don't even have first stages. So those are something I will prioritize getting. I mean, in some of those characters, if they don't have a first stage by now, I probably won't really play them too much to begin with Mordor, but it'd still be nice to go ahead and have them going into Mordor when I do play them instead of waiting. This time I actually get to do this boss. I think sometimes this one reflects for not full damage, but at least a decent portion. I know I've got to my Runekeeper killed a couple times doing that. That went pretty smoothly. Would be a nice time to use Lightning Storm. Doesn't look like I got too much useful from that besides the Scroll of Empowerments. So I'll go ahead and leave and imbue the book. I'm actually not too sure if you need to level this up. I thought it applied more total XP after you imbue it. If you do that, go ahead and get these up some. One thing I wish with Mordor, this at least wasn't in the first build, I don't think it's going to be in any others, if they had a new tier for the Scroll of Empowerments, Starlit Crystal, everything like that. Even if they're keeping the same level legendary items, they could have a new tier that would give you double the effect or something, just to be more useful and something new with Mordor instead of the same old stuff. Okay, so I want to apply a couple XP boost. Might get to level 66. Then I will go ahead and imbue this book. So now my priority will be relics on this character. I want to slot all the legendary items I can. Deconstruct relics. Don't know what this character has. Some tier 9, some tier 8. I might be able to make a couple relics, we'll see. Tier 3. And then I'm thinking I will probably head on to my hunter next. So my hunter has a first stage weapon bow that I will be imbuing. I don't think it's ready to imbue yet, but I still don't have a first stage melee weapon. Actually, yeah, my champion's kind of similar. First stage weapon, but not a first stage class item. Right, so I want to meld, let's see, Eastamnet, I think. Let me make sure it's not Wildermore. Yes, it's Eastamnet I want. So I want true setting of the 3 hunters. I think I would rather, where is it? True Rune of the White Mountains. So I need 4 of these. It's quite a lot. Which means I do now have 1 relic for my staff. So I think that will be all on this character that I need to do. I'm going to send, go ahead and open this and send whatever I get to my hunter because I do not want to keep this stuff. Or to my bank alt hunter, not the one I'm going to log on to. It's actually probably best if I go ahead and take this character to Mordor. What was I sending? I'm gonna send some gold. So I think this character, yeah, he has that travel. So I will go ahead and head all the way to, if I can find it. I think I'll just head to that camp in the waste, the one right here. I'm not sure if it's close enough to go ahead and go to the Black Gate from there. So I have the travel to Rimmendell. Okay, that's useful. Check if I can go to Camp of the Host. Don't think that's worth 1 mithril coin. I mean, it kind of is if you really want to cut out the time, but I don't mind traveling. So yeah, I am a bit worried about the early questing in Mordor, just it not being too fun, because from the little bit I did play in the beta from the first build of the actual questing part, it wasn't too exciting or anything. Okay, I am having issues here with rubber banding my war steed, and it was not a good time to get a drink. Okay, hi Team Does Nerf. I am playing my Lore Master, Legan, who shares the name with my Runekeeper but spelled a little bit different. Right now I'm just taking him to the waste near the Black Gate to get him ready for Mordor. Yeah, this class is probably the closest to a wizard. North Athelian's kind of pretty. It's a nice zone to lead into the waste. I didn't really like the aesthetics of Gondor or even Rohan too much. I think this is one of the more pretty zones in a long while. And that's not even, I don't mean like they were bad, but I just don't think they were that great compared to some other older zones or even something newer like this. And of course the waste is not quite as pretty, and it's pretty much no green at all. This is actually a longer travel than I thought it would be. I could have used that mithril coin just to speed it up. And I'm about to fall. Barely didn't fall. So I think if I do this on other characters, I will go ahead and just get that swift travel. I think most of them have it unlocked. Is that a warband? I haven't done a warband in a long time. I thought they were interesting when they first come out because, well, I didn't even like mounted combat that much to begin with. But I thought the warbands were at least a little bit interesting to give it something extra to do. Yeah, that's true. It's not too nice of a zone when you're getting rubber banded. And I'm just like lagging here now. I just randomly stopped. And like There I didn't even move at all and it just moved me to the side and slowed me down. It's just something I have to try to not pay attention to. Like, even in general areas, I try not to use my ward speed too much just because it can get pretty annoying. But if I'm just traveling, it's usually not too big of a deal. Almost there. Well, almost compared to where I was. I still got a bit to go, so. So another thing with Mordor is the Legion system, and that I think could be good. I'd have to actually play it to see, because I usually don't enjoy like farming reputation and just doing dailies just for reputation. That stuff can irritate me a bit, and I'd get bored with it quickly. So if it, like, I'm not too sure what everything in it entails, because if it's mainly just questing and storylines for each of those, like each of the races you, I guess, go with to start, I think you can eventually do all of them, and it just takes longer the more you do. But I'm not sure how rewarding it is to do them, and basically if it'll be something fun and that I'd actually like doing. I feel like first person worsted is not the best idea. It can make for a prettier travel, but if something bad like lag or rubber banding starts happening with the worsted, it's not that good. Yeah, check where I gotta go. Another thing I'm experiencing right now is a lot of stuttering, so even though my frame rate's pretty high, it's above 60 FPS mostly, I just dropped down to 18. And that's just, it's more annoying than being stuck at even like 40 or 30 FPS, I think. If it's not too constant, it's not that bad, but when it's pretty constant, it can get really annoying. Right, so I am finally at the camp of the host. That took a long time.
How may I help you, friend?
So I will travel to that little camp in the waste area. What's that place called? I'm trying to think of it. But anyway, it's just that little camp right there, and then I will switch to my hunter probably. I wanted to get to my hunter, maybe my champion and guardian. Actually, probably do want to get to my guardian. My guardian I will not be taking here because he has too much stuff to organize, and all of his crafting stuff, his stuff's just a big mess. My warden and runekeeper, my runekeeper, don't think I've removed him from the waste. I might have, but he was already around Karchos, that area. And my warden has the milestone that is right in Harander. I'm still having trouble deciding which character I want to take into Mordor first. I was thinking my Runekeeper, at least that's my latest thoughts, is I will be taking my Runekeeper. Based on when I actually got my characters at the cap, it would be Minstrel. It would be Minstrel and Burglar last, but I've actually enjoyed my Burglar a bit more than I thought I would. But just compared to all the other classes, it could still be last. My Hunter is just, I don't really, it's not that I am particularly dislike Hunter as it is right now, it's just not too enjoyable for me. So I will probably be taking that one later too. And it's kind of the same with the champion. I don't like the AoE spec, I like the single target spec, but that's kind of annoyingly weak even. Sometimes it can be strong, but oftentimes it is not. And it really depends on getting crits, and even crit capped it doesn't help it too much, at least for me. Alright, so one character is finally done. I got him imbued and got quite a bit done on this guy, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. I will be getting on my Hunter, this one. I still need to actually buy Mordor, I forgot about that. Alright, so this character is at the waist. I forgot about that too, I forgot I took her here. There was something specific that I did this for. It was one of my recent videos actually. Could do Desperate Flight would take me like there, I don't think I want that. Just see if I have a potion. Alright, so I think I need to take this character to South Bree and the auction hall, because I want to look for a first stage one-handed weapon. And then I also want to, I would like to get my weapon imbued. That might take a little bit too long for the stream and just what I plan on doing tonight. But yeah, I'm not even sure what legacies a hunter needs for their bow, because I mainly play blue line. I find that one most fun. I think red line should be stronger than it is now.
Let us help you bring glad tidings, friend.
I want to bind my, oh, I already have that bound to, that's right. I forgot a lot of the stuff I did on this character. Could have just done that campsite anyway. I will just head straight to Bree on this character and check the auction hall. And then probably search for a daily group on this character too, because I just need the stuff from that. And it just gives me something fun to do. It's something I enjoy. Gives a little bit of a break to all the preparing for Mordor legendary item stuff. The non-really combat gameplay parts of the game. Which that stuff's fun, but it can get boring, especially if you just keep doing it over and over. At least to me it does. It's something I enjoy. Alright, so I do have gold. Looks like I sent gold for my other character too, but I already got that. Okay, so I just want to see
How can I be of
what
service?
items I want to reforge. Nothing. Identify, that's what I want to see.
How can I be of service?
Nothing, okay. I do not have all my slots full. I really need a weapon.
What can I do for you?
Legendary items. No, I want class items. Oops. So this shows up in weapons too. A spear is actually pretty much perfectly what I would want. And it's the cheap price of 260 gold. That is quite expensive. But that's fine. It is something I need and a final weapon even in Mordor, so I don't mind paying that much for it. Could get it cheaper and have somebody craft it for me, but when I can just buy a nice spear right off the auction house, I would prefer that and spend a little bit more gold.
Hello there.
Alright, so I am going to pull up the LOTRO wiki for the Hunter Legacies. Okay, let me see if I can do something real quick. This is not showing. Don't think there might. I think there's a black screen showing at the top left. Trying to show the list here. Yeah, that's not wanting to show. Okay then. Should work with window capture. Yeah, that's not showing at all. Okay, so I can't show that. Just seeing if I could show the LOTRO wiki list of the Hunter Legacies. Because that is something I am checking right now, and Windows 10 is being really annoying right now. Okay, so for the bow, there are a lot of available legacies. Burn hot damage, I do not want. Distracting shot resistance, stuff like that, I don't want. Focus bow critical multiplier, I want that. Power cost, I want that. Threat, I don't care for. Heartseeker damage is okay. Damage over time. So there are a few things that are good in there. A lot of the stuff is good for red line, but not blue line. So I will probably start looking at that later. Do I already have that max level? I did not know I had this level 60 already. I think I'll get a scroll of delving real quick from the skirmish camp. If I have enough marks. I do not want these two legacies, so I need to actually level up all these third ages. I need to go ahead and slot those.
Is there something I can do?
That's actually not too many marks and medallions. I was expecting it to be more. I'll go ahead and get one for my weapon too. Maybe. Don't want to get two. Alright, so I will apply a lot of XP one to my weapon. Want to see, where's my bow? Okay, I have already applied a Crystal of Remembrance to the bow. Probably safe to use this one. I don't know how much the other one I applied was. See if there's room in this one. Go ahead and start searching for daily groups to go ahead and get that going.
Greetings, friend.
Merciful shot, that sounds good. Melee critical multiplier sounds the best of those two. Both of these sound bad. Do not want those. I think I have some of these in my alt that I might get. Because it's a lot of XP to level 70. I could use one of the couple million ones and... or a couple of the million ones and not even get there. I take it that group was full.
What can I do for you?
Okay, I just have 27 of the 67,000 ones then. We'll get there eventually. Actually, I want to apply this to my sword the whole time. I want to get my sword to at least level 60 also. Don't need to get it to 70. But I want to get it to 60 and reforge it. And then I'll use the rest on my crossbows. Probably do that after I get the daily group because I will go ahead and search one for my own if I don't get one. Why is this not, this is not tracked. Want to untrack this. Untrack this. That's fine.
Hello there.
Go ahead and get to 50 and then I'll go ahead and just search my own group if I don't see one come up.
How can I be of service?
Right. Go ahead and launch this.
Foremost, the last capital of the fallen North Kingdom. It is here that the Witch King of Angmar...
Actually, it'll be 4.
And it is here to which Angmar has returned to conquer Erebor.
Oh. Okay, I did not know that black box was still there. There it goes. You need to unlock this one? I didn't actually know that. Do you need to do Wrath of Water for this one still? Okay. I think I invited everybody that asked. I think the only useful, or I have 2 useful legacies on that at least, or 3 actually. Induction bow power cost, that one's actually not useful. I was thinking let's have focus bow. Okay, there is one for focus bow power cost. This was induction bow power cost. Okay. Maybe. If the minstrel, okay, the minstrel is here. I think we can go ahead and start if the runekeeper's not here. But if he comes in, we can go ahead and start. Surprised to not get more people here, actually. Usually they fill up real quick. I'll wait to apply this. This does give me a chance to start looking at the legacies and ones that I actually know will be useful. Precision stance, critical magnitude, that will be useful. Don't have that one. Focus bow, critical multiplier. Alright, give it one more search. Oops. Unfortunately, my hunter has pretty bad gear, so my damage is not great. One thing that's really nice about the blue line is the rare instant cast heart seekers. Those are pretty fun. And now I am shooting with my spear and I think that's a hammer. I was hoping this minstrel might be able to heal a little bit more. Should have used this before I casted rapid fire. Got one more person. 2 more people, that works. So I do think I will be doing a Let's Play on a High Elf sometime in August probably. I will try to start it in August. It could be September by the time that starts, but I think it will be on a Runekeeper. I'm not sure any other details yet besides I just want to do it. But I do plan on continuing Louisden even with it. I would do it. I do plan on leveling a High Elf Captain. I would do it on that, but I already have the co-op on a Captain. And I don't enjoy Captains quite that much. I enjoy them, but just not that much. My cats are being noisy. It's kind of distracting. I think I should probably also log on my minstrel and see what type of stuff I need on her to prepare. Can go ahead and use rapid fire here. There's nothing really else to use it on in between the next boss fight. It's always nice to randomly get 10 LOTRO points. I guess I completed Goblin Slayer Advance. So what class I would recommend for a newbie that will be using a boost in Mordor? I think it depends, like how much of a newbie you mean, and how much you have already played, because I think a Warden, if you're inexperienced with them and just use a boost to Mordor, would not be a good idea. But if you're already experienced with that class, it could be good. Captain would probably be better. It's still not that simple because of all the buffs, and I am in combat and all the mechanics with the buffs. Oops. Oh, he is that guy. I thought he wasn't attacking us. Okay. But Captain, I think of those two would be better. It is good in in-game fellowship, again, because of the support and buffs. It's mainly used right now for the DPS, the red line, and the buffs it gives for that. I accidentally pulled that troll. But it can also tank and heal. It's sometimes used for tank, but not as often, and I don't really see it wanting to be used for heals just because there are better options, and if you do have a captain, you'd rather it for the DPS buffs. But that's at the current state, assuming it stays the same in Mordor, because so far there aren't any balance changes. I think they said they were hoping to do some in later updates, and I hope they do some too. But I'm not sure if that would change anyway. So if you're comfortable enough with the Warden and the whole gambit system and everything with that, I would recommend that one. Because I find the Warden out of those two the most fun. Should not be using Heartseeker here. But there is a lot to the gambit system, a lot of gambits, and some extras to the gambit system. There's just a lot to go with it. Almost missed out on this. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just pressing buttons. I think the boss died, at least I don't see him anymore. And also, most of what I said about the captain applies more to raiding and like the harder endgame. Something like a featured instance like this would be pretty easy, and it doesn't really matter quite as much. The warden right now is decent for higher level instances. Like for in-game raiding and specifically like hard content, the newer instances in raid, it can be outclassed by other DPS and other tanks in some situations. Some situations wardens are the best tank because of their higher damage and self-heals. But something like raids, sometimes guardians can be better just because they survive a lot better and just don't take quite as much damage. They have more mitigations. But I think in Mordor, from what I have heard, wardens actually have really high DPS because of the way something scales. So I can't really confirm that, but it is just something I have heard. I don't think either class would be a hard time getting in a group. I think everybody's here. So, a guide to the captain. I don't really... I mean, I'm familiar with the captain and everything it has. I just don't know, like, the best rotations, even the best trait setup. Because I think that changes. I don't really do rating on my captain, and I think the trait setup would change a lot for rating. Because compared to my captain and the setup I use, I think you'd want to use the healing line a lot more than I do. I don't know why I'm up there with that guy. Didn't even use rapid fire that whole fight. I could really use that legacy. Or not that legacy, that trait. It might be worth taking some stuff out of the blue line just for me to get that trait. Yeah, I run some raids with my warden. Lately I haven't done much raiding at all in this because the throne, I've done that enough that I just don't really want to do it too much more, and like with the gearing, I'd rather not bother with that with Mordor coming out, and even with the waste, I just wasn't too much into raiding this time as much as before. But when I do raid, it has been with my warden or runekeeper. And instances like this I do on pretty much every character I've done. I've even done the new instance clusters on some. I've done the new instance cluster on my captain. and some other characters, my lore master, I think. So what do I think about Guardians? I actually think they're pretty fun. They do have a bit low damage, but okay, I should say I think the red line is pretty fun. I don't know why, but I don't like tanking on a Guardian. I think it's really boring even in the yellow line. So for a red line DPS Guardian, even though it's not quite that strong, I think it's actually pretty fun. I find it more fun than the champion at least. A lot of the skills are surprisingly fast-paced, and I think that's why I like it. I also like the theme of bleeds. Yeah, I use a two-hander on my Guardian. The healing is definitely nice. It's surprising that I do accidentally pulled these guys. I do survive better on a red line Guardian than any other spec, which doesn't really make sense even to me, but I'm just trying to not... Why did I pull that guy? Okay, I'm being really bad right here. Oh my. Yeah, Runekeeper's a lot of fun. I enjoy all three specs with the Runekeeper. I think the healing's fun, the form with heal over times, this guy's an anti-exploit mode again. Lightning's fun. And fire's fun. And yeah, if you're doing the storyline, and already that high level, I also wouldn't recommend boosting. Like, I boosted a lot of my characters, but I also did the storyline a couple times on some of my characters, and especially the 1 to 50, the parts I really like, I've done those even more. But yeah, I do recommend going through the story at least one time. And if you're at least familiar enough with the class or know even just a little bit about it, you can boost it and be fine. Leveling through Mordor, I think. Well, I'm not sure like the gear you get and difficulty wise, but I mean with just the class mechanics it shouldn't be too bad. Right now you can boost and quickly level up to 105 using Warg pins, and just doing that and then a few featured instances would probably get you at least familiar enough with the class, I think, that you wouldn't feel too much like you missed out on a lot of experience by leveling. Although, also at your level 65, I like the Rise of Isengard story content, but I did not enjoy pretty much anything onward from that. I know a lot of other people did, so I'm not trying to like make it seem really bad, but it's just something I didn't quite enjoy as much then. It might have just been with the whole mounted combat and the epic battles, I just didn't like that stuff, so that stuff made me not like the storyline and questings maybe. I did enjoy 1 to 50, and I still do. I enjoy that part a lot. Even through Moria is pretty fun. I haven't opened this on this character yet. I think that was it. So my main class for Mordor will be probably my Warden and Keeper. That's not a main class, but my main class is. I can't... I like playing too many different characters to, I think, have a single main class. I would get really bored if I just played one class, I think, the whole time. That's why I have 14 characters on the server.
Greetings, friend.
That one sounds okay. Okay, so I got both of these to at least 60. I will look later and try to get some more useful legacies. I think either somebody's around me making noise. It was very distracting there. I do need to deconstruct my relics, and then I will switch to a different character. Not sure who I want to switch to. My guardian has both first stages, so I might go ahead and log on him and see what's up with that. I have 5 classes that have all their legendary items imbued. Bunch of expired auctions.
What can I do for you?
Okay, so I need the belt. My guardian might actually, I don't know if I still have it. Oh yeah, there were not many legacies for the guardian belt that's good for redline, because again, I don't play tanking guardian because I don't like it. So I'm building my LI specifically for redline, and there's just not quite that much good for the belt. I do need a Crystal of Remembrance. I do not have enough gold on this character for one. I don't even know if I have enough gold on this server. Well, I think I do, but like, I just don't have as much saved up as I used to because I've been getting stuff like that in first stages. So I think I will head straight to doing dailies. See if this person has room. No, he's full. So I'll make one of my own. This is what I mean when my guardian's inventory is so messy. Some crafted stuff like this jewelry and these ingots. So for the belt, the legacies I was thinking were, I have Guardian's Ward damage. Light damage would be more yellow line. I don't think that would be too useful. Wait. Okay. I guess they got room, so that works.
The Witch King of Angmar crushed the realm of Arnor. It is here to which Angmar has returned to conquer them.
I always want to fight that boss to start this. My weapon's already imbued. That one has a few legacies that are pretty good. I don't have to use any stat fillers. I am lagging here. Hopefully that doesn't mean drop frames. Yeah, I haven't actually thought about that, using the shield for extra damage with the shield skills. That could be good. One thing with Guardian, which is similar to the Warden problem, is there are too many skills that I can't really keybind them. I mean, I could keybind them to hold shift and be there instead of where they are, but I might be able to get used to it over time, but I've tried doing stuff like that and I just really have trouble getting used to keybinds. Like when I first started playing MMOs, way back, I clicked all my skills, even like 1, 2, 3. So it was a lot worse at one point. I think I am lagging right here. Hopefully I'm not dead. Alt might not be too bad. With at least my keyboard, it's a bit hard to get to alt with my thumb. I think, yeah, I can't really reach that with any other finger too well. I probably could at least move that stuff to 1 through, that'd be 1 through 5. To have that laid out better. Yeah, I think it would be something that would be good for me to get used to. Having my skills where I do use shift and alt. Shift's not too bad. I can do that one more easily. We in combat? 6 is about the most I can reach without moving my whole hand. But maybe surprisingly, I actually don't mind stretching my hand to go through equal even. That's just something I'm more comfortable with too. Okay, oh yeah, I did not make this.
What can I do for you?
So I do turn and move with the mouse sometimes. I'd have to pay attention to how much I actually do it. Because I move like sidestep and strafe with all those usually. But I think I try to turn with my mouse at least. Oh, and hi, Doe. Actually, that does give me an idea with the WSQE. So I have been playing quite a bit of Overwatch recently. And that one has WASD, but D and A instead of turning are for strafing. So Q would be a skill and E would be a skill. So that could be something. And I could even change something like R, T, F, and G. And instead of having those be whatever they are, try and move those down. Because like stuff like R, I'm just too used to that for reply. And T's crafting and LOTRO. F, I think, what does F do? Actually not sure if it does anything. No, don't think G does either. One thing is brutal charge is really fun on a guardian. Yeah, I haven't really used letter keybinds, but I can see it working. Maybe. I'd actually be surprised if nobody pulled a goblin. Usually it's me pulling the goblins. Yeah, it's probably fun on a Hobbit brutal charge. I don't know if that stacks with other movement speed boosts, like, don't see any of these in there in my inventory, but just like all those other ones. Q, E, C, V, X, Y, Z. So C brings up my character panel. Bomb ones are a little bit hard to get to. So lag, is it like low FPS or do you mean delay from what I'm doing and what the stream shows? Because I think the stream is showing maybe even almost 20-second delay from what I'm doing. I don't have it set to do any delay, I don't think. P? I think P could work in LOTRO because it doesn't bring up anything. Area of effect damage, actually bleed damage. Should probably actually use this on my belt whenever I get something more useful, so I will save that. When people keep using skills like that, it makes me think I have my stream audio up and it's just going to echo everything. Okay, so I need to reforge a couple things and then I will switch to another character. None of these are high enough level to deconstruct and get their legacies. Wow, I got my War Steed riddle up. I never used that. I don't think I've done any amount of combat on this character. I don't know if the instance finder will change. I would like for it to change so that people would actually use it. Like if you could just queue up for the featured instance, for example, and it automatically get you a group and get you in. Yeah, one similar to WoW could work. That one works pretty well. Another problem with LOTRO is the class roles are less well defined, even though I don't know why I kept canceling logging out. But like WoW, you have one tank, 3 DPS, one healer, and LOTRO there's also supports. But you at least want one tank and one healer, and probably still at least 2 DPS, maybe even 3. And then you could always go with 4 DPS. Who do I want to get on? I didn't even think about that. Check out my champion. So they would have to come up with something that would work with having one tank and one healer and actually having them do that role instead of just queue up for it and then not tank or heal. And then 3-mans is another problem because I think one of the big problems with that was it not getting groups that worked well together. So like 3 DPS or something that just weren't able to do whatever. Okay, so this character is also in Car Trust. Have a lot of 3rd age allies for this character. And also on my champion, I decided to just build everything for red line since I don't enjoy yellow line, so I just figured it would be best to do everything for red line, so I have a 2-hander and a 3rd age rune. So I already have my milestone to Camp of the Host. I think I'll go to... Don't want that horse, I want my War Steed. Go to this and get that real quick because I'm pretty near it. There might be a way out here. But yeah, featured instance or instance finder and LOTRO that actually worked would be pretty nice. And it seems to be a common feature in a lot of other games. Hello, Babe Blue. Now I want to head to Bree. Wait, I don't have that equipped. Do I even have it unlocked? Oh, I think it just wasn't letting me use it 'cause I was on my worst state. So I wanted to... Should have enough gold for a champion's rune, but if it's priced like the hunter for stage, maybe not. Go ahead and head straight to Southbury.
How can I be of service?
So this character... Yeah, this game has 6-man groups. And it does also have 3-man for smaller groups.
Hello there.
And then raids, instead of being like 5, 10, 15, 20, it is 6, 12, and 24. The at least recently 24-man raids are pretty uncommon, but there are some older ones with that big. Alright, Dirk, see you, and thanks for coming to the stream. Okay, so I wanted a rune. Class item. That would work. Tank killer support and 3 DPS. And that is 349 gold. I could switch to an alt and get that, but I'm not sure if it's worth it.
What can I do for you?
I don't see the prices really going up later into Mordor, but with a lot of people coming back maybe and wanting to get their first stages and everything, I do see the prices going up. So that's something I could think about, but I'll go ahead and do the daily. Hopefully he's not full. He is full. Plus in LOTRO, even though like 4 DPS could work, having one support never hurts and is usually good, at least for harder stuff. Like featured instances, you could even run with 6 DPS sometimes. They just end up being really easy. Go ahead and launch this. At least this one's filling up faster.
Foremost, the last capital of the fallen North Kingdom. It is here that the
So I am getting pretty tired.
throne of Armor.
This is probably the latest I've streamed, so I was just planning on pretty much going until I got too tired, so I might be done after I'm done with my champion, and then I'll probably switch to some other alts just to get them more set up. I did want to get to my minstrel, but I don't really have to do the dailies on them. The dailies are just something fun to do. And they do help me prepare with getting legendary item stuff, XP, gold. think there should be maybe one more. Okay. This would probably be a good fight to be yellow line, especially for this, so you just don't have to target each person. I do have one AoE skill in the yellow line. I wish I found yellow line fun. That's just something I don't. So that little attack there did a total of 21,000 damage on crits, and that one did 15,000. So those are examples of when the red line champion is strong. Or at least my champion. I mean, I'm not that good geared to begin with. But then if it just does a regular hit of something like 3k, it's pretty underwhelming. And I did not mean to do that. Surprisingly, I mean, I've been looking forward to Mordor, but I have surprisingly not been too excited. Actually, until kind of, sort of playing now has made me more. Usually people do this boss. But playing this and doing this definitely does help me get more excited for it. I think just a lot of the negative feedback in the community has like helped me not really be quite as hyped and excited. I think it should be pretty fun. I am still undecided on what class I want to take in first. One thing I wish with Mordor, I mean, it's nice that it comes out early. I would just rather, And this is just something like I'd personally rather, is it be delayed, or not even delayed, just set to release a few months later, and them already have the instances in that they're planning on releasing. And I'd also like to see more of the balance changes that they say they are planning on doing. I'd like to see those come with the release of it. But I know there are also people who probably like it going ahead and being released to get the story content and just more content in general quicker. I think overall, like I've wanted to play the beta and do videos of it in the high elf. I actually was trying to do the high elf, at least look at it a little bit in the beta to do a video on it or something, but I never did get the chance for that. But anyway, I did like not playing the beta because I did that video of why I don't play betas, and that's pretty much why I haven't played the Mordor beta. And I'm pretty glad I haven't, because I feel like I would really not be looking forward too much to Mordor if I did. Like, even if the beta was good and everything in it was good, it's just wouldn't really be as excited for the release. And just, well, now it will be tomorrow Eastern time at least. The stream title is no longer accurate because it is just one day now. So did I ever use money on this game as in the tokens? The tokens. I mean, I've used money on this game for expansions and VIP, but am I group leader? I am. But I don't really buy LOTRO points or anything like that. I just use what comes with the VIP. And so far, I've mostly been saving those up. I'll get mithril coins when they're on sale. Don't know why it's not letting me launch. There we go. Okay, so I will try yellow line just for this fight and see how it goes. Gotta remember what everything is on this. Getting a lot of lag when I switch. I think one thing that also just bothers me about the yellow line is the single target damage is like really bad. And I know it should be because it's an AoE spec, it needs to be weak at something, and since it focuses on AoE single target. But I think just for, it could maybe be a little bit stronger in single target. But most fights anyway usually have ads or something. But when they don't, it just feels like at least I feel like I'm doing pretty much nothing to help. And I don't even have the rend, whatever rend thing, the debuff from that. The legendary item legacy that makes it really strong. I think another thing with the yellow line is they could increase the attack speed and make it feel more like what I would think. Like what I envision a yellow line champion as would be AoE like it is, but just faster attacking and using more attacks but a lot weaker per attack, to where it sort of evens out to where it is now, but just faster, more attacks and weaker attacks. And then I would also dual wield with yellow line. I use a two-hander because I play red line. Which oddly enough is still faster than what I did do dual wield yellow line. Stun. Stuns are pretty annoying in LOTRO. It just takes so long to get out of them. I think that's the more of a problem than the actual stuns themselves to me, is how long it just takes to get out of them. A recommended support class, so I would say there are 3 main support classes right now, if I am thinking right. Would be Burglar, Lore Master, and Captain. But Burglar would be like more on the DPS end than that, but Lore Master and Captains would probably be the main support classes right now. I find out of those, Captain most fun and the most supportive because it can do all 3 roles, even if it's not the best at. Healing especially it's not like the best at, but this does give some nice buffs and can heal. At least, even if it's not as strong as minstrel healing. And then it can also tank. But if you're looking for something ranged and more like spell support would be Lore Master. And then kind of healing support could be a yellow line minstrel, while that's a healing class. That particular spec is more support based with anthems, which are buffs. And it does have some healing to go on top of that. And then if you really want bad support, but what is supposed to be support, you could do a yellow line warden. It's pretty bad though. And really not supportive, but anyway. I need to deconstruct relics on this character, I think reforge an ally. And then I might log on my minstrel real quick. I'll save my scroll of empowerments for now. I guess save all these 3rd age allies. Shouldn't need them all, but maybe I will. So for the captain, if you're doing something solo, would be the red line for DPS. And that's the one that's most wanted for in-game fellowship stuff for support for its damage buffs. But I actually find the blue line, the healing one, the most fun, even though it's not the best.
How can I be of service?
What? Who am I trying? Yes, I want this one to deconstruct. So yes, I do think Champion is a good class for a new player. While I don't personally enjoy it that much, I know a lot of other people do, and it definitely is a good class. It's a pretty classic style and basic melee class that does a... wait. You mean Warden instead of Champion? Okay. So that's a whole nother story because Warden is probably one of the worst classes for a new player because it has some more complex systems. Well, I do actually enjoy the Warden, unlike the Champion. It's probably not quite as good for new players.
What can I do for you?
So this character... don't think I'll be doing dailies on this character because I'll probably be ending this here soon. But I did want to check her ally status. So that's actually not that good. I mean, not that good as in not really leveled up and only has 5 legacies. I guess it needs to level up more. This one has 6. Okay, this one has 6. I just wasn't saying that right. So I need to, yeah, work on this character's allies also. I actually have quite a bit of stuff to work on it. I just need to find out which legacies. I'll probably focus my minstrel on red line. I like yellow line. I don't in particularly like blue line, even though it's the best for healing. And I enjoy healing, just not quite as much on blue line minstrel. Kind of like how I don't like tanking on a guardian. So other characters, my captain is set. My Bjorning's pretty much, her allies are good. I think everything else she has ready for Mordor. So my Burglar, my Guardian, I've been on pretty much everybody. I'll log on my Burglar and check. So a good class for a Dwarf. A lot of people like Dwarf Guardians and Runekeepers. I think a little bit less common, but still people like it, is Dwarf Champions. So what I would think, I like Elf Runekeepers compared to a Dwarf Runekeeper, but I would think Dwarf Guardian would be good. Which line is good for Guardian? I like the red line the most because I don't like tanking on a Guardian, but if I did tank on a Guardian, I'd like the yellow line. So the blue line is your shield and like really heavy tank, all about surviving. Yellow line's more of a damaging tank with debuffs and not quite as good for just surviving or tanking, but does do a bit more damage. And then the red line is DPS and actually a fairly fast-paced playstyle, or at least surprisingly fast. It's not like super fast like a Burglar or anything. But I find the red line the most fun and DPSing on my Guardian even though it's not that strong. So my Burglar here, I think she has one bad legacy on her. Something. Either the tools or the weapon. Sneak movement speed, that one I want to replace. I think mithril coins would be the best way to do that. So I have quite a few mithril coins, I don't mind spending that. Let's see, that would be 50. For retort. I think a lot of Burglars go with Dust in the Eyes Mischance. I don't even think I have that trait. Yeah, I don't have that because it's just a good trait to get. Or legacy, not trait. There are a lot to get. I think the most useful for me would be Vitality out of all these. Actually, gamble chance and cash out damage could be because I have... Never mind, that's not a gamble, but I sometimes play the blue line. I thought I had a gamble. Anyway, this character is in Trollshaws. I think I was exploring Lost Temple. So I will head to Bree and see what travel paths I have to get ready for Mordor. Probably go ahead and use the Scroll of Empowerments and deconstruct my relics. I'm not sure what relics I have already equipped here. This one needs replacing at least, so do need some, I know. Featured instances are good for relics. I think they're, besides just straight up buying them or farming something like the Rog and then buying them from the skirmish camp, I think featured instances are the best way to just passively acquire them. It's how I get most of mine. Don't think I'll have enough to meld, but maybe. What, Eastham net? Yeah, I don't have enough. I only have one tier 9 relic. Okay, so I will go ahead and upgrade something. Burglar bleed damage. Crit chain critical multiplier. Bunch of good stuff on this. I actually think critical response skill damage would be best. There was a period when I was testing like the DPS, just comparing on all my characters when they had relatively the same gear. I know a lot of my damage actually came from flashing blades on this character. I thought it was kind of surprising. Which is a critical response skill. So that's it for this character? No, that's not it for this character. For this character's allies. LOTRO client has stopped working, so it looks like I crashed. I will try to get back on it in just a second. I do not know why it crashed there. Usually there's something that will like lead to giving me a reason, but there's nothing. My CPU temperature, GPU temperature, nothing of that like got high. Didn't even get heavy load on either of those really. Kind of weird, but I'm back now, and I think I'll go ahead and keep my burglar there and take this opportunity to go to a different character like my warden. I'll end this on my warden here. I actually have not been on my captain, but I don't think I need to get on him. I do plan on streaming tomorrow. Well, I shouldn't say I plan on streaming. I would like to stream tomorrow with more preparations and basically final preparations. It'd just be basically probably more of this. I don't know. I'd have to see tomorrow when it might happen. But I definitely plan on streaming Mordor Monday evening. Maybe like at 6 or 7. Maybe 8 if I'm a little bit late. So my warden is ready, I would say. Pretty much the only thing, and oh, you know what, I just remembered there are new Mordor relics, so I don't really even need to worry about those. I think I can just keep getting them and probably deconstructing them and refining them into shards would be the most useful thing to do with them. I mean, right now these relics are pretty good. Alright, so my warden is ready. In case I take her in first, I'll actually log in my roomkeeper. Don't think he's quite as ready. So for other stuff coming up would be, I have a roomkeeper guide, I'm not too sure. I think it'll be good, but just while I was editing it, was not as good as I thought it was when I recorded it, and this was actually a while ago that I recorded it, but I think it could be useful. It's just a gameplay guide that will be coming up soon. I'm not sure when. I have one of these. Interesting, I didn't know that. This character is much less ready because he has a much messier inventory. His legendary items are... that one's actually capped. A good way to get LOTRO points would be just, well, besides buying them, just doing deeds. Leveling low characters, you can usually get deeds quicker. And then if you have higher levels without max reputation, getting a lot of reputation tomes and maxing those can get you LOTRO points from those deeds. But I think really just playing through and completely completing all the deeds in a zone while you level up can be a good way. Okay, so yeah, my Runekeeper is much less prepared. He will need to go back to Bree, so I'll go ahead and start heading there. But anyway, that will probably be it for this third part of preparing for Mordor. I hope to do a fourth part tomorrow. And thanks everyone for joining the stream and watching.